After 4 years on the market, I believe Ford has finally perfected the formula for their Ford Bronco. Hey, it's Corey, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and this 2025 Stroppe Edition is the only variant with a V6 and 2 doors. I will adventure off-road in this video to show you why I believe this Stroppe Edition is peak Bronco. And let's go. Sitting behind the wheel, this is the place to be. I've got great visibility all the way around me, big open square windows, and the windows back here in the rear seat section are so huge that visibility is no problem. I've got my fixed in place mirrors, so even if my doors were off, my mirrors are still there and they are power adjustable. They do have my 360 cameras on them, so I do have my quick access button for my 360 cameras out there. I've got a good view out front as well as all the way around me. Then I have all my GOAT modes here. I have 7 different GOAT modes that I can go through. Normal, slippery, eco, sand, mud ruts, Baja, and rock crawl. Now I'm gonna leave it in rock crawl. I really love how, unlike some Toyota products, it tells me exactly what to do here on the gauge cluster. It tells me to put it in neutral so I can go to 4 low and then put it back in drive. It disconnects my front stabilizer bar and locks up my rear differential. Now I can still change and control all these and remain in my off-road status of choice. It just gives me more functionality and usefulness. Yes, this 2025 Stroppe Edition is the only Bronco variant that is powered by the EcoBoost with just 2 doors. And given the right fuel accommodations, this is the second most powerful Bronco in the entire lineup behind the Raptor. We get Ford's 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 engine, making 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque on premium fuel, though you can put regular fuel for a slight downgrade in power. Power is sent through a 10-speed automatic transmission down to all 4 wheels via an electronic transfer case. We are in fact in 4 low and we are locked up in the rear. The front locker is currently open. I don't think I'm gonna need it going down some of these trails because, as you can see, nothing too crazy right here in front of me. We've got some big rocks that could chew up lesser tires than these Goodyears, but these Territory RT tires have held up pretty good out here. I've got no complaints for them. Now, the slightly ostentatious look of this Stroppe Edition pays homage to 60s and 70s Baja racer Bill Stroppe with his original Bronco. We get a white paint job on this one with a white grille, but code orange accents, a color previously only reserved for Raptor models. Yes, this is the only non-Raptor to wear this paint color. And then we have a matte black wrapped hood to decrease glare when you're wheeling off-road, something I really like. We have our Stroppe Edition badging right here. Special matte black 17-inch wheels that are beadlock capable, wrapped in some Goodyear Territory RT tires that are 315/70 R17s and have plenty of tread for some off-road fun. The suspension in this is doing a great job of soaking up a lot of the jitteriness that you get from being in a body-on-frame vehicle, and I am generally very comfortable here in this one. We have a 100.4-inch wheelbase in the 2-door Bronco, which means that it is insanely maneuverable. In fact, I'm going to take you down trails here that I have never taken a press vehicle down before, because of just how small, compact, and maneuverable this little two-door Bronco actually is. I'm very impressed with the overall maneuverability. Behind these exclusive wheels and tires, we have Fox shocks on this model because all Stroppe editions come equipped with the Sasquatch package. Another feature I really like of this model is we have these rugged steel assist steps that are textured and make it very easy to climb in and out, but they bolt on to a steel rock rail. So if you want some additional off-road clearance, just remove a couple bolts on the front and rear, take off your step, you still have some body side protection to keep your Code Orange Bronco looking sharp. To go with those rock rails and off-road steps, we get the modular steel front bumper with some Code Orange recovery hooks. And if you look further up underneath the Bronco, yes, we have bash plates going all the way back, protecting all the essential off-roading bits. There are bigger competitors to this vehicle. There are bigger versions of the Bronco with four-door variants, but I would say this two-door Bronco really is just the right fit. Now, I will let you know, we have trail control enabled currently in this one, and what trail control does is it modulates the throttle and the brake to keep you at a preset speed, which I can control with the buttons here on the steering wheel by half-hour increments, all the way from 1 mile per hour to 10 miles per hour. We're currently set at a nice 1.5, and the vehicle's doing everything. I am just using this massive camera here in front of me with my trajectory to point the tires in the proper direction, which is very easy to do thanks to this very large screen. You may have noticed that too came on when I put us in our off-road drive modes. So not only do we have the white paint, the Code Orange paint, but we have a blue painted top with a few cool features unto itself. Because just as you would expect, you can remove the front panels into separate pieces, as well as remove a segment exclusive center panel that allows you an open air feeling back here in the back without having to unbolt this rear section. You can see we have the upgraded vinyl interior. We've got the Bronco right there, Code Orange accent stitching, heated seats, but fully manual seats here, full rubber floor liners with some additional all-weather floor mats, and your Code Orange accents here on the door stitching, Code Orange accents here, here, and here on the white dashboard right here. We do have a traditional Ford steering wheel here with all the necessary buttons for your driver assistance and your infotainment. And Ford has finally done away with the awkward gauge screen of the first models of Bronco. We now get this 12-inch full color unit. We also have a large infotainment screen here with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We get some auxiliary power as well as a GoPro mounting point, traditional rear view mirror with 6 auxiliary switches right here that are pre-wired for multiple different accessories, from lights to winches if you want it or need it. Dual zone climate control with heated front seats and steering wheel. As we get going into this faster section here, I can absolutely take over for trail control simply by pushing the throttle. And as I let off, it resumes where I had it left at 3 miles per hour. Now, I can lower that down by half-an-hour increments here on the steering wheel, or I can modulate it with the brake pedal. So I can slow us down with the brake pedal. Just a simple tap brings us down by half a mile per hour increments, which too is very cool. So steering wheel or brake pedal modulation really gives you a lot of options here in this one. So if you see something coming up and you're like, nope, not gonna happen, yeah, you can stand on the brake and bring you to a slower pace for whatever obstacle is up in front of you. Now, this section right here, this tight trail, is exactly why I love this two-door Bronco Stroppe Edition, because it is so maneuverable in tight places. This is where I off-road test everything out here at Barnwell Mountain, and this little Bronco is allowing me to explore areas I have previously not ever seen before. Getting into the back seat is fairly easy. We have a latch to pull and slide the seat up out of the way, and we have a two-person 50-50 split back seat back here that does provide a decent amount of legroom for whoever is brave enough to ride back here. We also get some luxuries like additional power and a full rubber floor mat that goes across the center transmission tunnel. I don't know how many people are actually going to be using these because of just how hard it is to get to these seat backs, but we do have some additional strap points for some additional off-road gear if you need it. Lastly, coming to the back of the Bronco, we get the matte black rear swing gate that really accentuates right here how many different colors are on this vehicle, but does match the matte black hood wrap that we have up front. When you open the back, unfortunately, this is where the two-door falls a little bit short of the four-door to me, because we do not even have enough space back here to store the doors, something that you can do on four-door models, but you do still get a decent amount of space. You have a little hidden storage compartment down here with a traditional jack, 4 lasso points to tie down your gear, and a 50-50 split back seat with fold-down headrests for better visibility. But one of the big caveats here is they don't fold completely flat. So if you're wanting to put a lot of gear back here, well, packaging is going to be a little bit interesting. And of course, practically every unused spot on this vehicle is actually accessory ready, including this rear swing gate where you can option a table if you want it or need it. Now, full disclosure, I did pre-run this trail earlier today just to make sure that it was a good filming location. And yeah, I was very impressed with its maneuverability and just the tight situations and tight corners that it can get into. Not only do we have that 100.4-inch wheelbase, but we have what I call the giggle button up here with our trail turn assist. When engaged in with the steering wheel turned hard left or right, it locks up the rear wheel on the side of the vehicle you are turning towards to kind of pivot around that tire and give you the smallest possible turning radius, which was already great on a two-door Bronco and made even better here with this one, with this trail turn assist. If you're tired of all the fingerprints on your large infotainment touchscreens, our friends over at Screen Protect can help you out with their screen protectors that help keep off fingerprints and smudges. They give your screen a more tactile feel as well. That way your finger doesn't slide around as much and you actually click on what you meant to click on. If you want one for your truck or SUV, there is a discount code in the video description, as well as a link to their website. Again, huge thanks to our friends over at Screen Protect for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now you can see we're getting into some gnarly stuff up ahead. Not the worst stuff I've seen out here in this one, but we are sharing the trail with some bikers. We'll let them pass as we climb over this rocky terrain up ahead of me. One of the reasons why I love coming out here and testing vehicles out here so much is it is a real off-road park that changes and evolves over time. Some of the courses I used to take crossovers on are now only accessible via a vehicle with as much capability as this Bronco Stroppe edition. Now you may have seen that rock face back behind us now as we climbed over it. I was able to miss it with my front cameras and my front tires, but not with my back tires. And again, talking to the maneuverability of this, the shorter wheelbase and the fact that I've got those rock slider step combinations on this mean I'm not really worried about dragging the belly or dragging the sides on this. It is still possible. That is always possible when wheeling, but definitely not a problem here in this shorter wheelbase two-door Bronco. You can see how we just climb over some of that stuff earlier. Now I did have a little bit of wheel slippage up front climbing that, where locking the front differential would have helped a little bit more. In fact, full disclosure, when I was pre-running this, I was fully locked up and it just walked right over that. I like having options and quick available options to me with these buttons here, and the fact that I can actuate them at any point. I can be under load and disconnect that front stabilizer bar. I can be in a precarious spot and still lock up my differentials, which has gotten me into problems in other vehicles with some of their electronic goodies and nannies. A lot of other vehicles I've tested out here, if you are in a precarious situation already and you haven't already locked up or done whatever it is you're trying to do, well, good luck to you, because no, you're not going to make it out of that situation. In fact, there was a particular stout electric off-roader that left me in a very bad spot, screaming at the electronic nannies for more control and for it to do what I wanted it to do. And yeah, just kind of had to live with it. But you can see here, this thing is absolutely walking over, crawling over everything, and can get through anything. So yes, this two-door Bronco Stroppe Edition really is the best of all worlds. You get the power of the V6 with the short wheelbase and maneuverability of a two-door Bronco, making this a stellar off-roader. The overall size and footprint of this make it infinitely maneuverable, even out here on some tight trails. The 11 plus inches of ground clearance, my great approach and departure and breakover angle make this my favorite vehicle that I've brought out here to test, which does, yes, in fact, include the Raptor variant of this Bronco. Well, that about does it, and I think you will agree with me. This 2025 Ford Bronco Stroppe Edition truly is peak Bronco. For more from us here at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, be sure and head on over to pickuptrucktalk.com for all your latest in pickup truck and SUV news.